Lesson 10. The Iceberg. The Titanic received several iceberg warnings leading up to the tragic event of its sinking. These warnings were crucial in alerting the crew to the presence of icebergs in the ship's path. The Mesaba warning. On April 11, 1912, the steamship SS Mesaba sent a wireless message to the Titanic warning of icebergs in the vicinity of the Titanic's planned route. The message was received by the Titanic's wireless operators, but it was not delivered to the bridge for action. The Californian warning. On the night of April 14, 1912, the SS Californian, which was in the vicinity of the Titanic, sent several warning messages to the Titanic about the presence of ice. The wireless operator on the Californian tried to contact the Titanic, but the Titanic's wireless operators were off duty, and the messages were not received or acted upon by the Titanic's crew. Throughout the day of April 14, 1912, the Titanic received several additional iceberg warnings from other ships in the area. These warnings were transmitted via wireless communication, but they were not given significant attention or passed on to the bridge for immediate action. The Iceberg Strike. The Titanic struck an iceberg on the night of April 14, 1912. Here is a timeline of the events leading up to and following the collision. 11:40 p.m. The Titanic receives the last wireless message from the steamship SS Californian warning of ice in the vicinity. The message is not given urgent attention or relayed to the bridge. 11:40 p.m. to 11:43 p.m. Lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee spot an iceberg directly ahead and sound the alarm by ringing the bell 3 times and shouting, "Iceberg right ahead!" The ship's first officer, William Murdoch, orders the engines to be stopped and the ship to be turned hard to starboard, which is the right-hand side, in an attempt to avoid a direct collision. 11:39 to 11:46 p.m. The Titanic collides with the iceberg in its starboard side, creating a series of punctures and damage to the hull beneath the waterline. The iceberg is estimated to have been over 100 feet tall and 400 feet long. Shortly after the collision, Captain Edward Smith is alerted to the collision and arrives on the bridge to assess the situation. The watertight compartments of the ship are quickly sealed in an attempt to prevent flooding. 12:05 a.m. Captain Smith orders the lifeboats to be prepared and starts evacuating passengers. The lifeboats are launched, but some are not filled to capacity due to the belief that the ship is unsinkable and the rescue from nearby ships would be swift. 2:20 a.m. The Titanic sinks beneath the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean approximately 2 hours and 40 minutes after collision. The ship breaks apart and the bow and stern sections sink separately. 4:10 a.m. The RMS Carpathia, responding to the Titanic's distress calls, arrives at the scene and begins rescuing survivors from the lifeboats. 8:30 a.m. The Carpathia departs the area with the survivors and heads towards New York. The collision with the iceberg results in the loss of more than 1,500 lives, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. The sinking of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations and practices. Iceberg damage. The iceberg caused significant damage to the Titanic due to several factors. The speed of impact. The Titanic was travelling at a high speed of around 22 knots, about 25 miles per hour, when it collided with the iceberg. The speed increased the force of the impact, making it more difficult to avoid damage. Hull design. The Titanic had a design that divided the hull into 16 compartments, each of which were believed to be watertight. However, the iceberg punctured multiple compartments along the starboard side of the ship, causing flooding in several areas simultaneously. The compartments were not designed to withstand such extensive damage. Quality of steel. The quality of steel used in the construction of the Titanic's hull was not as strong as it should have been. The impact of the iceberg caused the steel plates to buckle and break more easily, allowing water to enter the ship.